Trigger warning, mention of attempted suicide.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Squeaky Floorboard Society.
Hey,
I'm Sage,
I'm Megan.
and this is the Halloween episode.
Yep. So, do we want to start off by telling people about our costumes?
You can start if you would like.
Fixing my fixing to fix my curtain. Hang on. It's unbelievably bright. I have a solution though. Thumbtack it to the wall.
Hey, whatever works, works.
Yeah, believe it. So I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I'll even stand up for you guys. I have the full shebang on. I I do want to point out to people that I am almost 30 years old, and I will in fact be wearing this to my place of work for Halloween.
I am Mary Sanderson. If you don't know what that is, how dare you? She is from Hocus Pocus. And I am also wearing this to work, and I have two coworkers that are dressing as uh, Sarah and
Winifred.
yeah, I was like, what is her name? So
You've forgotten the names of your own sisters.
I know. Doing my best.
There's one name I never forget, and it's Sasuke.
Guys, this costume is really nice. Like,
Her costume looks good.
the company, this isn't sponsored obviously, but it's from fun.com. And it's an actual zipper back. Like I could wear this to a Ren fair and I'd feel comfortable wearing it. It's not like most where you're like, "Oh, I moved wrong and I'm going to break it."
Mine is from Walmart. It's from the little boys section, not even the adult section. But it fit me. So actually, a fun story. My boss found this costume for me. She didn't find the wig, but one of my bosses was at Walmart, and she was like, "Hey, you should. I found you a Naruto costume for Halloween. Why don't you be Naruto?" And I was like, "That's a great idea."
I can't wait to see what the thumbnail to this looks like.
I mean, should we like strike a pose for the thumbnail?
What type of pose are we doing? Are we doing serious? Do I
I was gonna
pull?
hit like the believe it.
Do the
You
Mary
should
St.
hit like a Mary. Yeah, hit a Mary pose. All right, that should be enough for me to work with. I'm gonna be mad as hell scrolling back through trying to find that exact image.
Well, it's gonna be pretty into the intro, so it should be
Right.
pretty quick. I think I'm gonna change our intro for this since this is the special.
Ooh.
I'm
Make it more
excited.
spoopy,
Yes, I'm kind of
as it should be.
excited, guys. It's
I,
Halloween.
yeah, Halloween. I have one more thing to say about my costume, and that is that this wig came as a super long, super thick, one-length wig that looked absolutely terrible, but I expected it to because it was $19. I feel like I did okay.
You did.
I've never cut hair. I've done nothing but this wig.
It looks
I
good.
had I didn't even have hair cutting scissors. I had heavy duty scissors that I used to cut astroturf. And I had a razor blade for dermaplaning and a dream.
You did really
And a
good.
flat iron. Yeah, this is from my flat iron.
It looks good.
So
When you sent it
I'm
to me, I
happy.
thought it looked good.
It still has a bit of that wig shine, but what can you do? It's a $19 wig.
Yeah. If it was what are they? There's some that are 200 that are
Yeah, if
in
this
the
was a
actual.
$200, yeah, I would expect to not have to cut it.
Yeah. At that point, you've already customized it the exact way you want it.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Daryl's so smart. He told me you should have just asked your hairdresser if she'd cut your wig for you.
Well, where was that when this was happening, sir?
Yeah, why didn't you bring this up 2 weeks ago, sir? My double chin keeps getting caught on my collar.
I'm nervous about how much of this is showing at work because I don't think I've ever shown this much. No one's ever really seen. So I think I'm probably might wear a necklace.
So I think it'll be fine. If you're worried, then just like wear a cami.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I would just wear a cami under it.
But yeah, guys, it's Halloween. Are you guys going trick or treating? Do you have kids that take trick or treating? Do you not celebrate?
Yeah. Technically, we don't celebrate over here, but we just like to dress up anyways. So it's a good excuse.
I have to tell you this because when I read this thing, I was so like, you've drifted so far.
Okay.
So it's this family of, I don't know exactly what religion they are. I know that they're a Christian of type, but I don't know exactly which type. And I'm not judging, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. But they were talking about how they don't celebrate Halloween. And I was like, cool, whatever. I was reading their post that instead of having Halloween on Halloween Day, so today, they're hosting a party where they're asking people to dress up. They're making a bunch of food and they're going to have candy for the kids.
So you're down with all the pagan rooted traditions, just not the day?
I guess so because they were like, yeah, we're just going to we don't since we think that like Halloween is bad, blah blah blah. We're going to host like a family party that anyone's invited to if you don't celebrate and like everyone can dress up and we can make food and I'm like
Mean party.
yes, you've gone so far
You've come
away.
back around.
And it made me think of a post that I saw not too long ago where it was like people that are anti-vax were like, and again, not judging, not here to yuck anyone's yum. That's on y'all, whatever you believe in. But they were like, what if we created a thing where we give our kids a little bit of the virus so their body can fight it off? And
Do
someone goes,
you
you guys
mean
have circled around so far that you have recreated vaccines.
do you mean a vaccination, bro?
And it was just like, oh,
That that makes that makes me sad because the amount of people, one, you clearly didn't learn this in school and you should have. Like you should have a basic understanding of science by the time you leave school, and if you don't, something's gone awry. You could have been a shit student, but you know,
there's going to be, like, even if you were a
how
shit
did you
student,
graduate?
I, it's wild.
There are people with high school degrees that have no idea how anything works.
I don't even have a high school degree, but I will have an
Okay.
associate soon.
Well, that's what matters. You got your GED though.
I
So
got it
like that's
like,
an equivalent. That's equivalent.
yeah, I got it like 3 months after dropping out.
Yeah, and quite frankly, it would have taken you longer to actually graduate.
Yeah. So I will say that I was kind of a shit student. I was suspended once and then suspended another time facing expulsion and was out of school for a month. I was not going to have enough credits to graduate on time. I would have had to go for 2 more years of high school in order to get all my credits to graduate. I told my dad, hey, what if I just drop out and get my GED? So he was like, that's what you want to do. And just because you drop out of school does not mean that you can't still go to college.
Yeah.
I want to put that out there. As long as you have your
Yeah.
GED, you are able to go to school. Here I am, almost with my associate's degree, getting ready to start going for my bachelor's.
You don't even need your GED to go to college at places like certain community colleges. Like
Yeah.
Ivy Tech, you don't need one. They
Yeah.
just want you to sit through tests to find out where you are and
Hmm.
make sure that you can at least pass like the basic English and math courses, or and if you can't, they'll put you in them.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Like
It's assessment test. You take that, and then because like I'm getting ready to graduate from them with my associates of applied science and psychology from them, and
big deal. That's a big deal.
yeah. So like just because you don't graduate high school, you can still make something of yourself if you think. I know there's a stigma that's like, oh, well, you graduated, you're not gonna make it.
Stupid, and I think that's college isn't for everybody, but anybody pretty much can go to college.
Yeah, and most of your like, and if, also if you're wanting to like you're like, oh, well, colleges offer anything. You guys can go for trade schools as well. Most community colleges offer trade as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Places like I know this because I got a technical certificate from Ivy Tech and an associate's degree from Ivy Tech. So um I know what they are. I have a pretty good idea what they offer, and so does Sage.
Yeah.
They have tons and tons, and a lot of them are free. This
Yeah.
is not us telling people to go to college, but I think it's important that people know they can.
Yeah. And with that, today's episode's a little bit more of like a relax. This is more of our like interlude
Mm-hmm.
to the season. So we're just
We've had a lot of sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Say we've had a lot of very spooky stuff already this season. Some kind of heavy topics, and we've got some more kind of heavy topics coming in the next few episodes. I know with mine there is. So this is our little break. This is our fun time break for Halloween.
I think up to this point, I don't think we've really explored too much of the heavy topics yet. Given when this one comes out,
yeah.
when I can actually check to see which episodes have come out thus far.
The main one I was thinking of was yours on that guy who killed people, which is all of them.
That's literally all of them.
I can't name.
Blanco?
That one is Blanco. I think it was Blanco.
Manuel Rom. Yeah.
Is he the one that made us sad?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah, so when this comes out, the episodes that will be out are Transformation Pending, which came out on the 8th. Who Calls in Sick for a Werewolf? I'm a Werewolf, Ask Me Anything. And then Wednesday, Crouch, Growl, Repeat, Surviving Dogman came out.
So they get a particularly scary one on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The one that made you clutch your little stuffed turtle.
I know. He's on the floor staring at me like, get me off the floor. He just always stays on the floor within reach. Although he is
Just
not
in
in
case.
reach.
This is something that is maybe not what we originally were going to talk about, but I think that, and I don't know that that this has come up yet. It's in an episode we've recorded. I don't remember which one. But there's an episode at some point this season where you light some sage because I say a specific word.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the word again, but you know what I'm going to talk about, I think.
Yes, you texted it to me. And then I'm going to tell
you.
I'm going to follow this up with what I texted you the other night, and you were like, are you still alive?
So a podcast that I listen to that I really, really like, Belief Hole, is a great example of why Sage lit some sage when we had that discussion, because I watched their new episode on flesh pedestrians, and they specifically mention in the episode and in the comments, excuse me, I've been up since 4:30 this morning.
God bless your soul.
One of them, after they record this episode, one of them falls in a fire and burns their hands so bad that they still don't really have feeling in one of them. One gets attacked by a hornet's nest, and one of them, his computer basically just dies for no reason, and he loses a bunch of stuff. And then two of them get the flu during editing. You got to be careful with this stuff, and that's kind of why Sage and I are the way we are about certain things that we discuss.
Yeah, that's especially with being raised by a mother who is heavy into, but so me and Dad were having a conversation the other day that's honestly relates to the story that happened the other day where you thought that I might have died.
Yeah, she sends me some concerning texts at 4 a.m.
I don't even think it was 4 a.m. I think it was 1 a.m.
I received it at 4.
All the sirens going past my house. No, I didn't die. I honestly probably almost did. In all honesty. What is my phone password?
Girl, I don't know.
But being raised heavily Native American and with my mom's beliefs and stuff like that, we don't fuck around with spooky shit. I don't like to go outside at night, which
either. No, I don't either, and that's a problem because it's dark when I leave for work now.
Well, and for me, it's getting dark at like 6 p.m.,
Mm,
which like I get off work at like 4 or something.
mhm.
So like if I have to run any errands after work, and most of
Yeah.
the places that we run errands to are like 20 minutes away.
So you have to be outside at night.
Yeah. But typically it's like just going from my car into the house. And so I'm like pretty okay with it. But now my dad likes to throw into the fact that we live in Appalachia right now.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to find the text that I sent you.
I'm sure I can find it quickly too if you need me to.
I texted you hippity dippity doc. Here I come with an unregistered Glock.
Yes. Did
Uh,
you mean Hickory Dickory Dock?
I literally copied that from a Facebook post and sent it to you.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't come up with that. I just thought it was funny. So I texted you Friday. So it's
Mhm.
like what, 2 days ago? 2, 3 days ago? And said, I almost got killed. To which you respond at 5:57 a.m. How did that happen? So I'm like kind of like low key breaking a law by owning my dog. In the sense of we don't have like not papers. That's not the word I'm looking for. We don't have a license. Um, because we didn't know we needed to until like 2 weeks ago. But it's just so they can tax us on it. That's all it is.
Government.
Yeah. And so it's like 1 a.m. Again, I texted at 12:57. So I'm sitting there and he is outside barking and will not stop. And I'm like, dude, it is the middle of the night. Like, you cannot be barking like this. So I go downstairs, and right now, because of our couch and stuff like that, we're not letting him into the other parts of the house right yet. So he kind of hangs out in the dining room. He's got everything he needs, and he's got a doggy door that lets him right out of the house. So I go to the kitchen. I'm yelling at him, and normally he comes in because he thinks, "Ooh, I get a treat." He never does, so I don't know why he assumes he's getting a treat, but he thinks he is. And so he doesn't come in. And I'm like, you motherfucker. So I walk my happy ass into the dining room and I'm like, Blue, get your ass in here right now. Like I am yelling at him. I'm kind of being a little bit rude, but also it's the middle of the night.
Get your ass in the house.
And I see that he's barking towards the house. So I assume that he can hear the TV upstairs and thinks it's a man talk because it is a man talking. I can hear it downstairs. And so I think he thinks someone's in the house and he's like, I don't know who you are. Get the fuck out type thing. So me, in my moo I step outside. And I'm like, Blue, get your butt inside. And as I've stepped out and the screen door closes behind me, I hear a growling slash like hissing sound. And I'm looking at Blue, who is still barking, and I'm like, well, that's not coming from you. To which then I look where the noise is coming from, and we have this like, I know that I think I've sent you a video of it, of the back porch, but it's like a makeshift huge doghouse type thing that's got like a green tarp over it.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
I don't I I don't know if it's because here like if you don't have shade in your yard and you have a dog, it's an automatic like huge fine. So I don't know if they created that so that some like they would have room for their dog or if it's where they kept all the children's toys or anything like that, but it's like
Right.
it's pretty big and it doesn't like close, but it's like a tarp. And in the darkness of it, because we have the back porch lights on because it's motion censored, I see eyes looking back at me. And so I'm like, okay, what has my dad taught me? What has my dad taught me? Because at this moment, I don't know what I'm actually looking at. So I'm like, okay, well, he said keep eyes on it and like slowly back away. So I'm making eye contact with him. I'm like, I don't have anywhere to back away to. Like I can't go down the said steps because there are no steps on this part. So I like back up to the edge of the porch where the railing is. And I'm like, if I jump over this and start running, this thing's going to catch me.
Right.
So as I'm backing away is when I start to see the bobcat inch its way out of the darkness. And my first thought, which everyone seems to have a problem with, wasn't like, oh God, save me. Oh God, protect me. It was, oh no, I'm dying in my moo.
What? Valid.
Like, that was my concern. I'm like, out of all the times that I could die, I'm in my moo.
In a moo. That would be like if I got killed right now. And the police had to come find Naruto Uzumaki dead in the fucking floor. Like,
Oh, we would be. But during this is when I realized that, like, the bobcat's blocking me from getting back into my house, and I'm blocking him from getting out of here. So we're both like cornered animals at this moment because I'm trying to get back in the house. He's trying to get away. And neither of us can do that. And so we're both just like stare off. And it feels like an eternity. I could not tell you how long it was. I could not. But finally, because Blue's still barking this entire time. So it's kind of like the Spider Man meme where they're like all pointing at each other. Because it's me, Blue, the bobcat. So we're a triangle. And so, like, finally, Blue like lunges at it and it runs down the side and jumps over the porch. And I go, Blue, get your ass inside. I get Blue inside, I get inside, and then I close the door and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I text everyone because I was having a panic attack and I was like, I need to talk to somebody right now. Like, I need to breathe. Like, I'm freaking out. My dad's
crazy.
biggest issue was, my dad said, girl, you live in the Appalachians. That could have been a Wendigo.
Girl, you can't say that this time of year.
Here's the thing is because it is the same thing as a flesh pedestrian. My mom was explaining this to me that when it comes to tribes and stuff like that, because it's not what we have in my tribe, she's like, as much as it could probably, she's like, you don't necessarily have to worry as much. Because the way she described it, it seems that all the Native American cryptids are very racist.
Oh, okay. So as a white person, how worried should I be?
So the way she was describing it was that because we're from a different Native American tribe, it's less likely to mess with us or with like me, her, Moonlight, because it's not something that's in our culture. Whereas like people who are part of that culture or unfortunately anyone else outside of it that aren't like other Native Americans, it could potentially be dangerous.
Oh, kind of like how only religious people get demonically possessed.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Mm.
So it's kind of like if you're part of that native tribe or if you are outside of Native Americans, it poses a danger for you.
I say that as if I don't fully believe that people who are not religious can get demonically possessed. I'm just saying in all the possession movies, they're always religious.
They always are. And I'll tell you what, if I get demonically possessed, let it kill me. Let it. Because if I have to see a nun at any point,
Get possessed by Valak, turned into a nun every time you look in the mirror. You just
that would be my own, like, that'd be my worst nightmare.
well, yeah, that's the point of a demon. Is it scares you?
Literally, you could give me spiders. I hate spiders. I would rather die than be near a spider, but give me spiders over nuns.
Yeah, no, I'm just imagining. They're like, "Hey, we want to be give us permission to fully inhabit your body." And you're like, "No." And then they're like, "What if I show you a nun?" And you're like, "Okay, fine."
That would literally be how I would get uh possessed.
Yeah, I think that Daryl would benefit from being possessed.
He wouldn't feel
I
the
think his
pain.
I was gonna say I think his back would work better.
He'd be like, we gotta fix all of this.
Except then the demon would be like, hey bro, I need to get out of your body. She's telling me that now that my back works, I need to go get a construction job because they pay well. I gotta get out of here." She's asking me to do stuff. She knows it's not you. She doesn't care. She's like, okay, yeah, whatever, Morbilis. I
Make
don't care. You go.
make the demon work a construction job at Daryl's body, and then still send Daryl to work at his normal job. So they're both working.
Right. Well, he won't remember going to the construction job because it's the
No.
demon possessing him.
And then
Great.
so he's working 2 jobs and he feels great, other than some
Yeah.
minor back pain.
Right. But even so, his back pain is probably way better
Yeah.
because the demon's got to be able to function in there. That demon doesn't want to be like, oh, all day
Yeah.
long. So,
Daryl, like, you guys are looking at the statements. You're like, yeah, we're making some really good money. Daryl's like, how?
oh, no. He doesn't do our taxes. Who's the accountant here?
Not
Me,
me.
Naruto Uzumaki.
I
Gave up on my dreams of being Hokage, pursued a career in finance instead. Actually, I do plan when I graduate, because for those of you who have missed this, or maybe I haven't even mentioned it so far in the season, I think I did in the intro, I will be finishing my bachelor's in the spring. So I don't know if my college lets you customize your hats. I assume they do, because most colleges do. I want to make it the Hokage hat.
I can cut this out. Which college are you going to right now?
IU.
Okay.
Actually, I really don't care if people know that, because I go online. I don't go to a campus.
Did I tell, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rant. Me and my academic advisor got into it because I was like, dude, like, I'm not good at math. Like, and he has me in finite math. I am struggling. Like, I had an F basically from the first assignment. Like, I could not understand it, could not grasp any of it. And I was like, do I need finite? He's like, well, if you plan on transferring to IU, you have to have finite. I'm like, well, I'm not transferring to IU. Well, and this is all through email. So it's really pissing me off because you can just look at the previous email and see that I'm not transferring to IU. And he's like, well, if you're going to transfer to IU, you have to have finite. You have to have finite. I'm still not going to IU. I'm still not. But if you're going to go, I'm not. So then he finally put me into quantitative reasoning.
Easy.
It looked easy. Like, not like I'm still going to struggle, but it looked easier than being like giving me symbols I've never seen before.
Was there no option for you to take statistics instead?
No, because it doesn't fit with my degree.
Oh. Because
Uh,
I took stats and I got like a 99 in it and I suck at math.
I
Because stats isn't really math in my opinion.
no.
I'm surprised that it doesn't fit with your degree. I would think that statistics would be useful for psychology.
I probably will have to take a statistics course once I actually start getting into like ABA stuff. But as of right now, I start quantitative reasoning in like a week because I got my little bit of a fall break.
I don't have a fall break, and I think that it's wrong that online classes are not required to do fall break with the rest of campus.
That
What if
is,
what if my kid was also on fall break and we wanted to go somewhere?
yeah.
So only in-person students are allowed to have breaks from school?
Do you do like an 8-week option or do you do like 16?
I have been doing 8-week stuff, but the stuff that I had to take, actually all of the courses that I had to take this semester were not offered as 8-week courses. And quite frankly, I'm kind of glad that they're not, because the 16 week after, like at Ivy Tech, I did all 8-week courses, and most of my courses at IU, I don't know. I was gonna not say it because you said you were gonna cut the first one out, but most of my classes at my current institution were 8-week courses. But after a whole like college career of just doing 8-week stuff, 16-week course is so fucking easy.
That might be why you don't have a fall break. So I know that like when you do the 8-week option, um, because you have to fill up those 16 weeks, so you have like 2 sets of things. You get that like weird week in the middle where it's like it's transitioning, at least through Ivy Tech. It's like the transition between the first part to the second part where it's like, oh, they're still grading stuff, but the second part, all of your other courses haven't opened up yet.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't have that with my 8 weeks either.
I had that with mine. So like right now, like I just finished psych lifespan development. I don't think I learned a single thing in that class really, but I did get to do a really fun review project and my professor made me cry
In a good way or a bad way?
in a good way.
Okay.
She was sweet. I absolutely adored her.
Because
Uh,
I'll show up and sing on her ass.
we had to do a lifespan report on someone who was at least 70 years or older, and I chose my father-in-law.
Yeah.
And I had to like talk about like I had to ask him a lot of questions about like his life and stuff, and like convey it to how it like affected or like how lifespan development played into that, and like the different parts he hit and how like you can like examine it. And she was like, I think she's like, I really hope you shared this essay with your father-in-law because I think he'd be proud of you. And so I was like, cool. I'm gonna cry now.
Oh, I had an experience that made me uh almost cry this week in a good way. My same boss that told me about the Naruto costume. Uh, she and I hang out outside of work sometimes because she has a. I mentioned this is the one who I had the play date for my son with, and she said that she made me something, and I was like, okay, what? And she was like, do you want it to be? Do you want me to tell you, or do you just want me to bring it to work on Thursday? And I was like, yeah, you can just bring it to work on Thursday. It's whatever. She crochets. I think that's what it is. I don't know the difference between knitting and crocheting, but she made this like crochet square, and it's the Akatsuki symbol from Naruto. Because she said
Aww,
she was looking, and she just said I had the extra yarn and the extra time. I was
that
like,
is so sweet. Yeah,
I
when you crochet and stuff like that, there's stuff that you're just like you make stuff for people, and like giving stuff as a crocheter is like the fun thing of seeing people's reactions. And I love that she made that for you.
and it's so good. It's in my room. I'm gonna try to figure out a spot to put it on my wall. It's
Aw.
not super big. It's only about this big, but still, I thought that was so nice.
That is, I love that for you.
I did genuinely tear up too.
Oh, I love that.
So, since it is the spooky day, do we want to share some of our own spooky stories?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
No. I need a minute to think.
um, I guess I can go first.
I actually just want to figure out which one I'm telling first.
All right. That was also why I was like, hey, go first.
We're stupid.
To be fair, like this was kind of like a yesterday, like, hey, we need to do like our Halloween one. We'll just talk about spooky things, like things that we've experienced. And then there was no further like communication on
Collaboration.
the topic.
The only further communication was me saying that I needed to finish my wig and you saying that you needed to see what your hair could do.
Which I
That was
think
it.
having a side bun kind of still achieves the like illusion instead of me
I do
buying a
too.
wig.
I think yeah, I think that people will know.
Yeah, because especially because I work with kids, I cannot fathom wearing a wig the entire day.
Pick
Like,
groceries.
well, like
This is gonna be insane.
the kids are definitely the definition of like snatch a wave. Like they
Right.
pull on your hair a lot. Like because we work with a lot of littles, so I could not
Hmm.
fathom like having a wig on and then like attaching it to my hair and stuff like that. Because the wig that I was looking at had clips. I would be bald by the end of the day, and
Snatched.
not prepared for that. So
They would scalp you.
they really would. But all right, I think I got my spooky story.
Okay.
So when I was a very young child, like 5 years old, um, my aunt tragically passed away. I'm not going to go into that whole story because there's a lot of conspiracy theories around that specifically. But the day after, um, our house was kind of like crazy because a lot of people were coming over because it was my dad's sister. So there was like a lot going on. We were constantly doing stuff. My dad was constantly in talks with people. We were going places. Like it was just a lot for a 5-year-old to like uh process. I will say this is my dad's sister. Uh my mom was telling my aunt, her sister, my mom's sister, about how my aunt had passed away. And me being the fun little 5-year-old I am, I was a big eavesdropper. And so I heard this and I ran into the kitchen where my mom and my other aunt are talking. I go, no, not my favorite aunt. Right in front of my other aunt.
Just snatched her wig off.
Well, it's the one that lives next to my parents. I know I've complained about her.
Yeah, I think you have,
Um,
actually.
but so it's like the day after she passed away. My mom says that it's the scariest thing I had ever pretty much done at the time. There's been one more scarier thing, but she said I sat up. I had been asleep for like 2 hours, and she was sitting in there just watching me and my younger sister sleep. And I sat up, and I go, "Don't worry, she made it. She's safe." And I laid back down.
I got chills.
And my mom was like, "What did you just say to me?"
The fuck did you just say, you little shit?
And that's when my mom was like, "Oh, like because in Native American families, each family kind of has their thing. Some are storytellers, some are medicine people, some have visions. My family interacts with the spirit world. Like we have, like we could feel. I was always the one as a child that could really see them, whereas my mom and my sisters could feel them.
Crazy, you and I have talked before about how that's strong in the women in both our families.
Yeah, but so then my mom obviously had a panic attack the rest of the night. I felt like she just sat up, dead sleep, just like mummy raising up, like she's
Dracula
safe.
out the coffin.
Yeah, she said, she goes, you said it in like the softest, sweetest little voice, like, hey, she wants you guys to know she made it and she's safe. And then you just like laid back down, like nothing happened.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Those like, but the dream world, I say that like it's a place. The like the dream state is interesting because so much weird stuff happens in the in between states of sleep that I actually think that that would be the easiest place to like get in touch with the spirit world.
yeah. Well, and that's also why, like, with some lucid dreams and stuff like that as well, like, because you're kind of in that space a little bit too. That like that's when like sleep paralysis can happen the worst.
It's that I don't remember if it's hypnagogic or hypnopompic state before you go to sleep.
I haven't entered into that part of psychology.
I can find out really quick. Because mine also has to do with waking up and suddenly doing something as a child. Okay, so hypnopompic stuff is like leading out of sleep, and
Okay.
hypnagogic is like before you go to sleep.
Okay.
Um, so yours would be like hypnopompic, I guess.
Okay. I'm
I
ready to
don't
hear
know.
your story.
All right, so I'm pretty sure I've told you this story before because it was my very first paranormal experience, and it's one of my few like very young childhood memories that I actually have. Um, because I don't know. I had some thyroid issues when I was younger, like a teenager, and I started having some memory problems around that time. And weirdly enough, they've completely resolved themselves now. Like I'm not on medication or anything. Uh, Kind of a tangent here, but one day I just said I don't want to have a messed up thyroid anymore, so I'm not going to take my medication anymore, and I'm just going to pretend that it's not a thing. And then like I got tested again like 6 months later, and they're like, your thyroid's fine. And it's been fine for like 2 years now.
I love that.
Um, but the power of my mind is just so strong. But so, yeah, I don't have a lot of childhood memories. But this one I do remember very, very vividly, like to the point where I can see it in my mind when I'm telling you the story. So I was 3 years old, and we had just moved. My family is originally from Texas. We had just moved to where we are now, and we so we had a 2-story house, and my room had a really big, so like the door is on this side and there's a window on this side. That window was huge and it like ran the entire wall damn near. And I had these like lace curtains on it that my parents had just quickly bought at Walmart. They were like this like that really like scratchy floral lace curtain, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. My mattress was still on the floor. That's how new we were to this house. And I was sleeping facing towards the door and I woke up and I know I was fully awake. Um and I and it's really, I think I wake up cuz it's cold. Like I'm cold. And so I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to like go ask mom and dad for another blanket cuz I'm cold. And when I go to sit like towards I roll over and something catches my eye in front of my window. And so I turn my head and like walking parallel to the window, so right along it, but facing away from me is a big ass man in a suit. Like
Oh.
big shoulders. It's a darker suit. I want to say like a darker gray. And he's kind of hobbling, kind of funny. And I'm like, I'm three. I'm like, what? What is that? And then I like look at, because I'm on the floor, so I don't see the top of him immediately. I see like from the shoulder blades down, and then I look up and he doesn't have a head. It's not like a gory thing. There's just no head at all. And so I scream, and obviously my parents come in, and I never saw him again, right? My parents kind of thought I was having a bad dream or whatever for years. They were like, that had to just be a dream, you know? And then my mom, at a completely different house, is standing in her closet. And when she's standing in her closet, about like in the doorway to turn the lights off, she's right across from the big old bathroom mirror, so she can see behind her. There's nothing that could possibly be construed as something else behind her, and we know because like she turned the lights on again and then back off again and it wasn't there. She swore that when she turned the lights off, there was a big headless man behind her. And she had completely forgotten about my like story, and then when she told me about it cuz she was freaked the fuck out cuz I still lived with them at the time. I think I was like 19. I was like, "Hey, do you remember when I was 3?" And she was like, "Oh, no." So my mom also saw the weird headless man, probably at a completely different house.
My parents have been having a lot of little spiritual things happening in their current apartment.
I told you my mom's had some stuff happen too.
My next one is uh it has to do with a little bit of a seance per se.
Mm.
So again, child very in tune with the world. Um, my dad takes me metal detecting with him. And we go to what used to be like a really old village that's no longer there. Like you can see like the remnants of like some of the foundations, but they
Oh
are
wow.
destroyed. Like it's really old. And like we're walking through, and up ahead of us I see a little boy sitting on a log, and he is in like old-timey clothing. And I still have a picture of him that I will plug in. But he definitely older time clothing. And so I'm telling my dad about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's that little boy over there. Do you not see him?" And my dad's like, "There's nobody there, but I believe that you're seeing things because again, like I've been a spooky child, I've been a creepy child." And so he's like, "Yeah, well, go talk to him, I guess." And I'm like, "First of all, dude, that's like I'm so glad you didn't take a
That's so
drink."
your father. That's so your father.
But he was like, "Yeah, just like go talk to him." First of all, dude, that's like 100 yards away. Like what if there is a little boy over there that's like luring me to like my death? What if they're like Hansel and Greteling me like right now? But either way, I go over and I start talking to the little boy, and I find out that his name's Joseph. He's talking about how he's waiting for his dad to come back. And I'm like, I don't know if he is. And so, and I'm like 8. So then I'm like, well, you could just come with us. I willingly, at 8 years old, have invited this child's ghost to just come live with us.
Oh, you got him?
I got him. And so he hung around for a really long time. Like
Yeah, I remember hearing about Joseph.
he still sometimes makes like occurrences. He still follows me around. He really likes to fuck with animals. Um, but he was attacked by a mountain lion, and that's how he unfortunately lost his life. But you can't tell, like, if you saw him, you couldn't tell that he had been attacked.
Right.
But I was trying to like get proof for my family that he was there. Like my mom and sister could feel like his energy, but like they couldn't see him, so they had no idea what he looked like. And so one night I was like, my dad gave us his old cassette like recorder, and I was like, I don't know exactly how this works, but I'll figure it out, which I did. And so we have his little tape recorder, and we have the TV set to white static. We have, what are they called? They're like this ball that like is electricity, and you like touch it, and it like has the line.
No, I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we had one of those, and we were, because for the energy, and we had a radio on static as well, and we were trying to get him to come through. And we're asking so many questions, and we're kind of being silly because again, we're like 8 and like 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like if anything, we're just really creepy children. And so, come to me like listening back to everything, we hear a little boy laughing with us.
Crazy.
And so I take it to my dad and I'm like, Dad, listen to this. And so my dad listens and he's like, wow, like that is this, like there's a little boy laughing here. I'm like, I told you. And to further like prove to them that like, hey, he's really here. We had this old SpongeBob blanket. And it's like one of the fleece, but it's like crushed fleece type thing where it's almost like a felt.
Oh.
We had a blanket that was SpongeBob of that. And so I folded it in half, and because your girls loved makeup forever, she's not great at it, but she really liked having it. So I like my parents used to buy me like the big kits from Walmart for Christmas every year. And so I took it and I grabbed one of the I think it was like a lip pencil that was brown, and I laid a bunch of toys down on it, and I drew circles around where they all were. And I was like, we're gonna leave this here through the night. And I was like, Joseph, if you want to play with toys, like we left a bunch out for you. And it wasn't in an area where any of us could get to it, like without making a bunch of racket. And so when we
Right.
wake up the next morning, because it'd be my mom would wake up, she would go wash her face, go to the bathroom, then she would wake me and my sister up. Because she wanted us to stay on that school schedule. And so when she wakes up, she does everything. Then she wakes me up and then Moonlight up. And so when we wake up, I like look to check to see if anything's moved, and every single toy had been moved.
Crazy.
Which thus and then I think it was like 2 days after is whatever. I was like, well, I'll get a picture of him. And so I was like, Joseph, like, can you please sit on the stairs and let me get a picture so that my family knows that you're here? And I caught a picture of him,
Is that the one that you showed me that one time?
where it's like really grainy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, as someone who's seen the picture, that's just Joseph, man.
it's just Joseph. He likes to flush
Joseph.
toilets and he likes to harass animals. He's fascinated
Oh.
with indoor plumbing.
Well, yeah, fuck yeah, he is. If you'd been shitting outside like bears your whole life and suddenly there was indoor plumbing,
Yeah.
this episode's literally just us gonna be going like story for story because I have a old timey child story and I know you know this story too. Um, so as I mentioned earlier in the episode, much like Sage's family, but for completely different reasons and from a completely different region, the women in my family, from the Irish side of my family, are extremely spiritually like attuned. Um, so I don't know why that would be a thing necessarily, but apparently we also have a banshee,
Ooh.
which, yeah, at least my grandmother, swears up and down that we do, and that when she dies, we'll hear it. I guess it's the daughter of whoever it is hears it typically, because she heard it when her mother passed. And so she says my mom will hear when she passes, and I'll hear when my mom passes. I hope not. I hope that it's quiet. But so my mom has had her fair share of experiences. Is my point in that. And of course my dad thinks we're both nuts.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But
That's
how
very your
it's like a
dad.
typical, yeah, my dad's autistic and logical. But so my mom was in bed one night, and I have a little sister, but so that's relevant to the story. My sister was pretty young at the time because I was in like late high school when this happened. My sister's 11 years younger than me. Um, so my mom is sleeping in bed one night, and somebody, like, she feels like a tap on her shoulder. And so she thinks it's my sister, right? So she rolls out, so she kind of goes, "No, go back to bed," and says my sister's name. And my sister, she gets it again. So my mom goes, "Hey, sister's name, go back to bed." And she like rolls over, and there's a little girl there. And at first she does think it's my sister, because my sister had long brown hair, and this little girl had long brown hair. But then she realizes this little girl's long brown hair is in braids. My sister did not go to bed with braids in her hair and does not know how to braid her hair.
Your sister all of a
Um,
sudden teaches herself how to braid in the middle of the night.
She can barely read. I think braiding's out of her brain. I want to make it clear that my sister is mentally disabled, and that's why she can't do these things. She's not just stupid. um, but this little girl is in like a prairie dress,
Ooh.
like a true prairie dress. So my mom goes, "Hello, can I help you?" The girl vanishes. But she was like she said, I guess the way she said, I know I just delivered it like crazy, but I guess my mom went, "Hello, can I help you?"
The Southern
Like
hospitality still.
she said, "Well, it was a little girl. I didn't really feel threatened by her. Like, I'm a mom." And then I'm like, I never see her, right? I don't see her. But once again, my mom and I's experiences end up backing each other up, because like a year and a half later, because my mom sees her another time, and it's kind of the same experience, right? I'm up at 3 a.m. microwaving a burrito.
I know
And
this one.
when I close the microwave door, I have my burrito in front of me. I take it out, I close the microwave door, and I look up, because that's what you do, is you look up before you start moving. Nobody moves like this. And I see very, very clearly, I think it's my sister standing behind me in the kitchen. Because it's one of those microwaves. It's like one of those fancy schmancy, like stainless microwaves that has one of those nice reflective glass panels.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's dark inside the microwave, it's like a mirror damn near. And so I think it's my sister, and I go, "What are you doing out of bed?" And I turn around, and she is not fucking there. And so I'm like, "Mom!" I don't yell because I don't want to wake my brother up. But I go upstairs, I'm like, "Mom, I saw her.
Your
I
poor
was microwaving a burrito." And she's like, "Great, leave me alone."
I have one similar for my mom waking up. So, right up the road from where you currently live, we used to live in some of those apartments. And like this was back when they were like good apartments and not all the issues they are now.
Right.
Like they used to be really good apartments and like a lot of really good people lived there. But we were we were we had just moved in and we didn't know at the time what had happened in this apartment prior to us living there. But my mom was sleeping in the front bedroom and she thought my dad kept fucking with her feet, like bending her toes back to like where it was hurting. And so she was like getting really mad at him and she's like, "Would you stop fucking with my feet while I'm sleeping?" Now, mind you, my parents don't sleep in the same room. They haven't since my younger sister was born. They do not share a room. They sleep separately.
Blame him.
And that's just because my mom's a really, really light sleeper and cannot handle any noise being on, whereas my dad needs like a TV, a radio, his phone playing something in order to go to sleep.
I don't blame him. Daryl needs 5,000 things going on, and I like silence.
I have to. Luckily, I got married someone that also needs like 5,000 things going on at the same time as well.
I just go to bed and fall asleep before him.
I have to have a bunch of noise to go to sleep. But she kept getting mad at him for it. And then one day she was like yelling at him while she was laying in bed because my dad kept bending her toes back. And so she covered her feet up. She was like, ha, like if I cover my feet up, you can't fuck with me. And she said that she felt this hard fucking punch on her thigh. Like she thought it was going to bruise. Like she's like, he hit me so hard. So she jumps up and my dad's not in the room, but the bedroom door is closed. And so she gets up to go, and my dad is asleep on the couch, snoring. And so my mom's like, Michael, get up. And my dad, obviously, who's asleep, does not get up. So finally, she goes to like wake him up and she tells him about it. And he's like, that's not happening. You're being crazy. So he goes and sleeps in that room, to which then he feels his toes being like shoved back as hard as they can. And then he was like, So he goes and talks to the landlord and is like, what is happening? To which she tells him, oh, well, like the previous tenant had committed suicide in that room.
Okay, so why are you taking it out on my toes?
Literally. And the fact that he
What'd they
punched
do?
my mom because she covered
Yeah,
her
I'm
feet
glad.
up. But yeah, so my poor mom and my poor dad's toes were just like, he was just straight up taking them and like, to the.
I would have fought the ghost somehow. I'd have fought him. I'd have learned how to lucid dream and gone and beaten his ass.
Well, this is also the same apartment that whenever after my aunt died, I sat up and said like, "Oh, she made it" and stuff like that. It's also after she died because we didn't lock our doors because this is again the early 2000s. Things
Right.
weren't as bad as they are now, so like you could still kind of leave your doors unlocked.
And it was a small town. I lived
Yeah,
here in the early 2000s. You could leave your door unlocked.
yeah, and it wasn't like I wouldn't do that nowadays there,
Mm-mm.
but like
No.
early 2000s you could. And so my aunt used to just walk in all the time. Like she never knocked. She would just enter the house and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here." And after she died, like my mom was fighting the front door because it kept opening by itself. And my mom was like, "No, stay shut."
Right.
And then, do you have a story, or do you want me to go ahead and tell the one that was scary to say? That has to do with the same
Uh,
apartment.
well, you can go ahead and tell that one.
So again, very in tune. And so I'm going to leave for school, and we're running behind. Like we woke up late. I think this is the same day that there was a bird in our house, and my mom was freaking out. Um,
A bird in the house means death in some cultures.
well, it meant my mom having a panic attack trying to get me dressed without me going potty. I remember that so vividly. But so we were running late, and my mom at the front door. The bird left out the front door, so my mom finally closed the door, and we finished getting ready. And as she's opening it for us to get ready to leave, as I'm walking to, and the way these apartments are set up is like when you walk in, it's a hallway to the bedrooms, and then so it's like you can either go into the living room or you can go into the hallway to the bedrooms, and then halfway down the hallway is like where you can go into the kitchen, and then at the very end is the bathroom. But as we are going to leave, out of the corner of my eye, I see my aunt. And it scares me so bad that I jump back into my mom, who is like walking as quickly behind me as she can to get me out the door. And I jump back and I almost knock her over. So she's got to grab the wall and the entertainment center so she doesn't fall backwards. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Tammy scared me." And she was like, "Okay, well, we have to go to school." So that apartment, I'm pretty sure my aunt was like, that was her happy place. So I feel like that's where she was like, "I will be here."
That makes sense. I'm trying to think which one I should do next. Okay. Story about an apartment, technically a duplex. When I was living in a duplex in the city that you used to live in, it was a cute little duplex. It had its problems, but because it was a little bit older, but it was cute. And my neighbor was a old man. And then one day, we thought he was bug bombing. I was living with somebody that I was dating at the time, right? Um, we thought he was bug bombing, and because it smelled really bad, and that was the only explanation we could come up with. 2 days later, it turns out he's dead in his apartment, and there's just that wall separating us. So yeah, that's why it smelled bad. Like, we even called the landlord to be like, "Are you bug bombing over there or something?" And they're like, "No." And we're like, "It smells bad." And they were like, "Oh, well, maybe he's bug bombing or something. I don't know." And then I guess one of his kids was like, "Hey, we haven't heard from him," a couple of days later, and made them come open it. So not the most diligent landlords in the world, obviously, but he was really quiet and he kept to himself. So we didn't see him very often, anyways. Otherwise, we would have been like, "Hey, it smells bad. He might be dead." But
Yeah.
we didn't see him very often, anyways. It was not, he was retired. Wasn't unusual for him to be home for long stretches without going anywhere, which has led me to the fear of that's why I don't ever, once Daryl's gone, I have to get a part-time job, because that way if I don't show up,
Somebody.
somebody will notice I'm gone.
Well, if we're still doing
Um,
this and I don't hear from you, I will automatically assume.
right. And you're like, "She's dead." Um, but so fast forward, me and that person have broken up. I have an entirely new partner. And we're laying in bed one night. We've just gotten done watching a movie. I have a TV in my room and stuff, and we we're laying there, and we're like, we'll just go to sleep, because we were both working nights at the time, and so we had to be at work at midnight, and it was already like 10 p.m. So we're like, we'll sleep for an hour and then go to work. Um, and he wakes me up and he's like, Megan, Megan, and I'm like, what? And he's like, there's somebody walking in your hallway. I can hear them. And I was like, yeah, it's probably just a neighbor. That happens all the time. And he's like, what do you mean it happens all the time? And then like a month later, he was like, do you want to move with me? Because apparently I'm a heavy sleeper, right? You know this.
Yeah, I know this.
So sometimes at night I would hear walking, but I also briefly had a cat during that time. So I was like, a cat, 100%. I know it sounds like a human, but it's my cat. Um,
Well, you also had a dog
and
at this time, too.
oh yeah, but he was always in the room with me. I couldn't write it off as him, because he wanted to be up your butt all the time.
All the time.
So, um, I guess he, who was a much lighter sleeper than me, had been hearing footsteps in the hallway, and he did not like it. So he did not like coming there at night. I don't know why my neighbor would be in my apartment. I guess sometimes if somebody was walking really heavy, you could hear it in the other side of the duplex. Um, but I don't know. Either way, after my neighbor died, I started having footsteps in my hallway. So
I'm
that was fascinating.
trying to think of any other ones where it's similar to that. I don't know if I have any.
I have a creature one next.
I have one that was my mom thought was a demon.
Ooh, yeah, tell me that one.
So this was back when I was in like 8th grade. And it was like this dark mass. It like he had kind of a body, but he was a really, really dark mass that just like he followed me around a lot. And like I would wake up with like hand marks around my throat. I would have scratches. At one point, like every day I was waking up with like huge whelps on my leg. Like
The demon.
like I was getting my ass beat. And I had no way to like throw hands back.
An invisible foe.
Literally. And so it was
Oh
like
no.
I didn't like going to like school and like being in gym class. I didn't want to like put my gym clothes on because I didn't have sweatpants. I had shorts. So it was like I didn't want them to like see them or anything of the such.
You didn't want them to think you were getting beat at home.
Yeah, so I'm just like I don't say anything, but like I'm clearly like they're getting onto me because I'm like wearing jeans during uh gym class.
Real though, why does it matter?
I don't know. But it was like, and this went on for like 3 or 4 months. That finally my mom was like, I've tried saging you. We have read Bible verses. She had done everything that she could possibly do. And finally, like, at one point, she was like, you know what? Like, we don't want you here. Leave. And I never dealt with it ever again.
Crazy. I'm going to tell a completely different story than I was going to tell now because you reminded me. This is another story that I'm pretty sure you'll remember because it happened to my mom.
All right.
Um, so my sister has seizures. They've gotten much, much better. They're well managed with medication now, but they weren't when she was younger. So because my parents' bedroom had like a nook to the side, it's the are you like also kind of getting the vibe of like the energy shifting a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm just like,
Yeah. So it got really, really cold in here.
I
Like,
also got super cold over here.
like I don't know if you can see,
I can see a little
but yeah. Let me blind you guys with my arm.
bit.
Um, so we're like, so my sister is in that like nook area. Her bed is in there. She still has like another room to herself with like her dresser and her toys and all her like fun stuff. Um, but she has to sleep in there in case she has a seizure. And my mom is in bed and my mom wears glasses. This is notable because that means she can't really see that well. So she wakes up in the middle of the night because my sister is laying in bed and she's going, Mommy, I'm scared. And she's like, What, honey? Why are you scared? And she just keeps going, Mommy, I'm scared. And she's getting more, Mommy, I'm scared. And my mom's like, What are you scared of? And like, as soon as like she gets emphatic about it, like, What are you scared of? Because she won't tell her. This huge black mass flies from the wall across the ceiling and out the window. And my mom says, I know I'm not crazy because the moment that it came off the wall, out of the shadow, like it was like the wall just looked shadowy.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it was not shadowy, it was that black mass. And she said, I know I wasn't crazy because the moment that that thing detached and like flew across the ceiling, my sister screamed and ran into bed with my mother.
Oh.
And so my mom is sitting up, she's putting her glasses on, she's trying to get my sister calmed down. And she hears something out on their front porch, which is right below that window. And she hears kind of a scuffling. And then she realizes what it is because a coyote howls right below the window and runs off into the cornfield across the street. Because she gets up to like look. And so
Yeah.
she sees where it goes. And she said, I've never had anything like that happen. She said, that was the scariest fucking thing.
That
And I
is
wasn't, my dad was all the way asleep in the basement. So he didn't hear anything because he'd been watching TV down there. That or he was asleep in his office. He does that sometimes. And I wasn't home because I was working a like 3 a.m. job at a bakery, getting all the donuts ready for everybody. So she said this happened like 20 minutes after I left.
so there have been times where like so again, my mom doesn't see them as much as she feels them. Sorry, I'm lighting more sage.
Right.
But she like will feel them, not see them. And there have been times where like me, my mom, my sister have been talking and a black mass will shoot between all of us. And then this she said it also happened recently too that her, my sister, and my dad were sitting there talking and another huge black mass shot between all of them.
I wonder what that is.
There's also been times where it's been like a ball of light. But like I guess it happens like it doesn't happen like often, but it happens enough.
Does it happen when it happens? Can your dad see it or just your mom?
You know what?
You don't know, do you?
I don't.
That would be an interesting question because if your dad can see it, that's different, you know?
Yeah.
Are you calling?
Yeah. Hey, got a quick question for you. So you know how sometimes when y'all are talking in the living room and stuff like that, like you, mom, and Moonlight, and sometimes like a orb or a ball of light will shoot between them.
Yeah,
Do you see it?
sometimes.
All right. That was all I had
Why?
to. We're recording. We were talking about that.
Okay.
All right. All right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
What do you say?
He said sometimes he can see it.
Okay, well that's interesting then.
It is interesting because, like, he's not someone that's in tune with that stuff.
That's why I'm kind of,
But also, like, if you take him into a cemetery, he swears he hears the wind talking to him. So he might be in
hmm.
tuned, but I don't think he is aware.
Sometimes I wonder if like it can rub off on people.
Well, and also like with him, like, I mean, half of him made me,
Right.
and I'm in tune, and he's been very much in like in this stuff. He's gone to sweat lodges. He's been a part of this stuff, so it's like it wouldn't shock me if he could.
And I think it's dormant in a lot of people, but they probably could have the ability if they like tried.
Yeah,
Maybe not to the degree that like some people do,
yeah,
but they could, maybe sense something
yeah,
that they couldn't otherwise.
yeah. Because like he says, like when he's in the cemeteries, that he can hear like people's voices in the wind. Um, and he just said like sometimes he can see the stuff, but not as often compared to like me, Moonlight, my mom. But like he
Right.
can see it.
That's interesting.
It is.
That would just be one more thing for your dad, honestly,
It would be.
to be able to see ghosts.
Just adds,
Um,
and then they start stressing him out too. So then he's just mad at everything and ghost of all things.
right. He's trying to fight a ghost. He's trying to shoot a ghost.
It's him and the raccoon
He's like,
story
these
over
damn, I was
again.
gonna say the damn raccoon. Um, Speaking of creatures in the night, I have a story about a creature in the night.
Ooh.
And I would quantify this as the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. In terms of like paranormal experiences, at least. Or whatever this was. I don't know what this was. And this happened with a friend of mine who we're not really friends anymore, but she's not into like paranormal stuff at all. I don't think she even believes in it. And so I'm glad it was her with me when this happened because for years, when people didn't believe me, I could call her and she could back me up that it did indeed happen and that it was as weird as I'm making it sound.
Okay.
And a lot of people knew her by the time that like she went to high school and stuff, at least in our town. So I could tell the story to basically anybody. um so it was me and my friend and we were in the basement at one of the houses I lived in. It was the house I lived in like 8th grade. And we only lived there during 8th grade. Like we only lived there for a year. Not because of paranormal stuff, but just we ended up not liking the house. I think there was something about it that my dad didn't like, and so they decided to sell. So we we're in the basement and we're like, let's go outside. It's like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like summer, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's sleeping over. I think we'd been riding our ripsticks around my basement because a lot of the floor was cement.
Okay.
I don't know if our younger audience will know what a ripstick is, but it's basically a skateboard with 2 wheels.
Yeah.
They're really fun. I can still ride one.
Sometimes I think don't they also sometimes call them like penny boards too? Or no, that's
I don't
something else.
know,
Never mind. I know what you're talking about.
but we go outside, and I think we ripstick around on the porch for a minute because I have like a back porch that's got like a cover on it, and then we decide to go in the yard. And for some reason, we're like, let's be edgy and let's hop the fence. Like we can leave the yard. Nobody's stopping us. And so we hop the fence and we walk a few paces away from the fence, and we're standing there talking, and we both kind of like pick it up at the same time. So my fence is here, and directly across from it, like this is my yard. Here's the side of the fence. There's fence here, yard in the middle. We're standing on this side of this fence. And when you go this way, there's obviously the road that leads to my house, but then there's a perpendicular road and there's a house on that road. So where we're standing, we can see that neighbor's driveway. And we're like literally facing the driveway. And they have a big street light above their driveway because it's out in the country and you can't see fuck all at night most of the time unless you have a street light.
Yeah.
And the street light's at the end of the driveway. Like they've installed it themselves basically. It's like a big old post light that hangs over. And because it's summer, towards the beginning of summer, they usually clean their grill. And like they would wash their grill pretty routinely. They were those kind of people because
Okay.
they didn't like when things were dirty because this was kind of a better off area, I guess.
Okay.
And we so we're looking and we think that's what's in the driveway. It looks pretty similar because it's something with 4 posts and a kind of squared but like kind of rounded top.
Roundish.
Yeah, and it's just dark and it's not moving. So because
Yeah.
we kind of look at it and then we go, oh, it's their grill.
Yeah.
They've taken it out and washed it because they had done that a couple times in the time I lived there.
Yeah.
And so we're standing there talking still, da 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 da. And we both kind of look over at the same time. I don't know what prompted us to look, but we both did. And it's moving. What we think is the grill is running across the driveway. Not running. It's like slinking across the driveway
Ooh.
into the dark. Like it's going to pass the street light and go into the darkness. And the way it moved was wrong. And it looked wrong. Like this was not a deer. Although it was probably the size of a like pretty decently sized deer.
Ugh.
It was definitely on all 4s, but the body and the head didn't look like a deer. It almost looked like a dog, but the neck was a little too long. I know it wasn't a coyote. I know what a coyote looks like. I've seen plenty. This was, and like I said, the street light was there, so it was fairly well illuminated. It was
Yeah.
pretty shaggy, too shaggy to be a coyote, and just its posture was fucked up, and it's literally like slunk, and its head kind of went forward.
Ugh.
And we both just booked it. We hopped that fence. Neither of us is particularly tall. We jumped that bitch and ran inside. And we did not go back out at night there ever again. Because what the fuck was that?
Was it
Like I
Dogman?
said, I fucking hope not. But now that I know about Dogman, I'm like, ah!
Maybe that's why you're fascinated.
It might be. It might be. Well, interestingly enough, I've actually always been very, very afraid of werewolves. Ever since I was little, for absolutely no conceivable reason. Before I knew what werewolves were. Like the first time I saw one, I was like, I hate that thing.
Yeah.
Get it away. When I read Twilight, I was like, whatever, they're not really werewolves. Those are definitely kind of more shapeshifters. I can deal with that. And then at the end of Breaking Dawn, they mentioned there are actual werewolves. I was like, if they ever go into that, I won't be able to read it. Like watching Van Helsing. I like when he turns into a werewolf, it's to this day I still go,
I
I don't like
remember.
it.
Do you remember I think it was Nickelodeon. But it was The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
I didn't have Nickelodeon as a child.
I didn't see this until like I was like 18 almost, I think.
Oh, I've never seen it.
It's Victoria's Justice, and it's about like they go to Romania and they're like she accidentally like touches some blood that transforms her. She gets a cut and it transforms her into like a werewolf. It's actually, for it being like aimed towards teens, it's not too bad.
Huh.
Like the storyline and the plot and like them being in Romania.
Yeah,
And
that
like,
actually, them being in Romania actually slaps.
yeah, it was really good. I'll still watch it to this day. I don't know if it's on. It used to be on Netflix.
Mm.
It was one of like the rotations. So like my like fall time Halloween like rotation movies. It was one of them.
Yeah, well, we just pirate everything anyways over here.
I haven't had to do that. And
But
like,
yeah, that story is probably the scariest one for me because I can't place what on earth that could be. I know what deer look like. I know what dogs look like. I know what coyotes look like. This was none of those things. It was the wrong size to be any of the coyotes we have around here. We don't have wolves.
yeah.
The only thing that I can maybe even see it being, and the fur would have been wrong, But like now that I'm looking, I'm like, what if that was a mountain lion? There have been big cats spotted around here.
Uh,
Not
I'll cut this
frequently, but
out.
do you think that it could have been a small bear?
Well, with the way that you're describing it, like I can't remember. Is it honey bears that they can be big, but they're
Because it wasn't like it wasn't huge, but it was too big to be anything else that I know of, and the body wasn't right for a deer. Because like sometimes bucks around here can get real big.
yeah, bucks can get pretty huge. It could be. I was trying to type in like the little like uh honey bears, but it brought up kinkajous, which is not even remotely close.
Mm-mm.
But because you said that it like I don't know. That looks horrifying.
I no, I see.
They're Southeast Asian sun bears or honey bears is what I was looking at.
Well, it's that black bears can sometimes pass through here.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if I saw like a bear.
Yeah.
But honestly, is that more or less scary?
Well, if it's a black bear, all you got to do is like look at it and like puff up and scream and they run.
Well, yeah, but also we're two eighth-grade girls in
Well,
this story.
if Mark can scare a black bear off,
Right,
surely
right.
too. Like, did you
I
guys
don't
have
know.
blueberries?
No, we didn't have any blueberries. I had. She was my Asian friend who was really good at math.
So not
Like,
blueberries.
yeah, no, I don't. I don't know that she would. I could outrun her. It's fine.
But yeah, so um the part that we cut out because you're gonna see that there's a jump cut is that there's an area down where this roughly happened that's probably I don't know like 20 minutes away, give or take, where there has been reports from family friends where they've watched DNR release animals that are not a part of this area.
And that actually wouldn't surprise me though, because like we have very lax exotic animal laws.
Yeah.
So I imagine that even if it doesn't have anything to do with that, I would not be surprised if there was some kind of funky animal running around in the countryside out here from
Yeah.
somebody who just lost control of their pet and doesn't want to own up to it.
Well, and then also too, because like they want to move, but there is a huge deer population.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were releasing animals that aren't to the area to
To call
deal
that
with.
deer
Yeah,
population.
I wouldn't be
Yeah, no, the
surprised.
deer are crazy around here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Do you have any?
surprised if they did.
Do you have any creature stories?
Mm, I told the bobcat story. I mean, there's been one time where I thought that I was like Bigfoot was near us. Um, I went
I haven't
camping
heard
with
this one.
because I convinced myself that it didn't happen. I was dating this guy who was a big like gun owner, like believed in carrying at all times, had his open and concealed like actual permits. Like,
Well, you know what they say: the man who sleeps armed is a fool every night but one.
yeah, like but like very much someone who is always armed. And we went camping and we're camping and stuff like that and it's like the middle of the night when all of a sudden like I hear like a lot of noise. Like someone's definitely walking around our campsite. And now I'll tell you where this is and I'll cut this out.
Oh, okay.
So like the area
Yeah.
in which we were camping, it wouldn't shock me if it was like a homeless person trying to steal stuff.
Right.
Like I would not have been surprised.
Right.
And so I'm like freaking out and I'm like, well, do I like get a flashlight? And like, cause like we only have one car there and it's not my car. So it's not my problem if something happens to it. But I'm like, what do I do? And I don't want to wake him up and scare him if it's nothing.
Oh, no, scare that man.
But here's the thing is so you know how tents have like the netted top?
No, I've never been camping.
Well, some net tents have like a netted top, and you put like a cover over it, like a rain cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's for like air circulation and stuff.
Oh, okay.
We didn't put the rain cover on ours, so I can see like through the top of the tent to like the trees in the sky.
Ooh.
And I'm getting a smell of something awful. Like something that just like hasn't showered. Now again, this could still be someone home that's homeless.
Living in the woods, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But I just like lay there like I'm not awake. Because I know that the gun, so he has me sleeping on the inside and he's on the outside closest to like the door of the tent.
Mm-hmm.
But the gun is above us, like between like where our heads are. And so I'm like, if I just lay here, it'll go away. Or if it doesn't go away, I know how a gun works. I can grab it and I can protect us. Because
Right.
he's asleep and I do not want to wake him up and I don't want to like raise a bunch of flags if it's nothing. Or if I wake him
Right.
up, it could escalate a situation that wasn't previously going to happen.
Right.
So I lay there, and this thing is making so much fucking noise. Like,
Is he not awake?
I don't know because you know that I'm also a very deep sleeper.
Right. For you to be up. Can you imagine how stupid we're gonna look camping in LBL? By the way.
Could you imagine neither of us waking up when there's a bunch of noise?
It's just Dogman is literally standing there and we're just like
We're gonna have to like get security cameras that are like recording the entire time.
like some trail cams.
That or like actual like cameras that don't require Wi-Fi that are just recording the entire night, so that way if we
Do you know how
are asleep,
scary? Do you know how scary it would be to look back and see something?
see Dogman staring at us like, well, we caught footage of it, but also
He pokes his nose in, but I have thought ahead of time, and I'm wearing this outfit because who dies like this? He's like, I don't think I want that. That looks weird. That looks
but
funky.
yeah, he doesn't wake up and I never get up to look to see what's out there. But it's like circling the camp. Like, and it's a
It
lot of
doesn't.
noise. It's a lot of fucking noise.
I feel like if it was a homeless person trying to steal, they would have been quiet.
Yeah. And it's like when I say it's making a lot of noise, it is like
Because it's got big feet.
ungodly amount of noise. And we have a fire going still because we had the fire, but we had wetted the area around it. So we were just like, we were like, it was kind of dying out. So we're like, well, we'll just go ahead and go to bed. It'll be dead by morning. But like, as I'm looking out the tent, I can still see that the fire's going. So I'm like, well, maybe because it is the fall time, maybe like a homeless is out here and they're like feeding the fire maybe to stay warm because it's still going and we're as far as they know we're asleep. But they wouldn't keep circling.
No.
But there was no noise, there was no vocalization, there was no growls or anything like that. It was just a lot of noise continuously walking around the camp. And it felt like
Hey,
an eternity.
so the place that you're at is not far, and if I'm not mistaken, is like semi-connected to the forest here where that dude saw Dogman with his monkey.
I feel like if it was Dogman though, there might have been a little bit more like
Vocals, maybe, or
maybe or
growls.
like
No, I think it was the monkey.
cuz it was definitely like I don't know, I don't know what someone with four huge feet would sound like walking around, but this was definitely very like because it was
Something like
fall.
that.
So it was
Right.
I would if I had to assume I would assume it was two like someone on 2 feet,
Right.
which obviously
Yeah.
Dogman can be, but just as much noise and as much circling. I
Right. That sounds a little more Bigfooty. He tends to be more curious.
yeah, but like I never got a glimpse of anything. It was definitely staying on like because again, I'm laying here so I can see where our fire is. Like I can see that our fire's
Right.
still. I never see its shadow on the trees, and I think it's like and it sounds like it's staying like on the outskirts of where the light is.
I like that even less.
So I'm like when I woke up because I eventually at some point I fall back asleep Because I think that
Right.
at this point the noise has probably stopped, or it's still just circling, and I'm just like, I guess I die now. I'm going back to sleep.
Right.
But
Either I'll die or I won't.
yeah, and so when I wake up, like I go and obviously I'm looking for stuff. I'm also like, well, I have to pee, so I guess I'll wander into the woods and see if there's like anything. Well, what am I gonna do? Pee on the campsite? No, thank you.
I would.
So because the campsite that we're in is not far from the roads that like the access roads that there are there, because it's one of the ones where you just like pull off and you park and you can like camp.
I just feel like if I thought there was something suspicious out there, I would pee in a coffee can in the tent.
Well, I just because I could still like I stepped back far enough that I could still see the camp, but it's daylight now, so I can see like 360 for
You
the
can see
most
around,
part, but I
yeah.
don't see any like evidence of anyone even being around.
That's
So
weird.
I'm like, but then we packed up and we left. And I
Weird.
never told that dude about any of that.
Uh, I don't have another creature story, but what I do have is a story that involves both of us, and I don't know if you recall this story happening. Do you remember the Halloween that we went with Stephanie to the cemetery with the Ouija
Yes.
board? This is a fun story for you guys because we sat, it's not really a story, more just a thing that happened. We brought a Ouija board to a cemetery and with one of our like friends from work where we both worked at the time. And unbeknownst to us, her grandmother had just passed away not too long ago. And we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um, and so we're using the Ouija board, and like they come through and they say that they're her grandmother and stuff. And so we don't know anything about this woman, like Sage and I don't,
No.
only Stephanie does. And so I'm like, well, why don't you ask a question that like only she would know? And so she asked, what was your middle name? And it said K. It said Kay. And she just like burst into tears because apparently that was indeed her grandmother's middle name, which neither of us had any way of knowing. And we had her take her hands off the planchette for that one
Yeah, we did.
so that we could be like 100% she's not manipulating the outcome. And whether it's, because sometimes subconsciously you can do that
Yeah, so that's why we
if you're
had
really
said like,
hoping.
"Hey, don't touch.
We'll do
We'll
it.
do this part for you and you can ask the questions." We also
Yeah.
scared a group of grown men that time.
We did. I forgot about them.
You know what's really crazy is where we did that. My I have family members that was buried like two grave spots over from where we were sitting.
Crazy.
Her name was Pearl.
I love the name Pearl. I like gemstone names like Pearl and Ruby. Those are so pretty.
Oh, I had a grandma Ruby. She got hit by a mail carrier and died. It's
Bye. Okay.
the lady felt
Grandma.
bad. She even showed up. She showed up at the mail lady felt bad. But I don't know what happened. But Grandma Ruby was just gonna walk across the street like she owned the place, and a mail carrier was going a little too fast for the area and hit her and flung her like 30 yards. She unfortunately was dead on impact because again, I think she was like in
Fortunate
her
that she was.
80s. But
No, I think it's fortunate that she didn't have to live with the harrowing experience of flying through the air
yeah,
in
but
pain. Yeah. That's crazy.
sorry, just like a little bit of a trauma dump.
Yeah, no, that's actually insane. So Sage and I have obviously had some experiences together at that point, like with the Ouija board,
Yeah,
scaring people at the cemetery.
I don't think those men ever recovered.
I don't think they did either. Wasn't it someone you knew?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he asked where we were,
And I
and you
said we were
told
in a
him.
cemetery, and he said,
But
"I'll show up." And I said, "You can pull up. That's fine. You're not gonna have fun."
and he didn't have fun.
No, the other
We
one,
we we jumped out and scared them.
that one guy jumped into the his friend, his buddy jumped up into his arms. Like
That shit was funny.
we scared the fuck out of them.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for them. Girl, my wig is cutting circulation off to my ears. You know I have a thing about my ears.
I know. It's a sensory
Um,
thing.
It's a sensory thing. Do you have anything else? Because I think I have maybe one more, and it's not my story. It is in fact Daryl's.
Ooh, I don't know if I have any more that I can think of. So we'll go ahead and make this one the last one. This is a little
All
bit of a
right.
longer episode, y'all, but it's Halloween. We gotta give you
Yeah.
spooky.
But it was an extremely old house, and we actually have walked by it before so that he could show me where it was. And the vibes are terrible, let me tell you.
Ooh.
So Daryl was not religious in any aspect at the time, although his grandparents are preachers.
Okay.
So he has a basis. Like he had a basic understanding.
All right.
Now, it started off so he would go to his friend's house and they'd play video games, They're teenagers, they might,
Do things
a
that
little bit.
teenage
Yeah.
boys do.
And so at first it was just like scratching, tapping, things like that when they moved in. And then it just kept escalating.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought of a story that just recently happened, like 2 weeks ago.
But it just kept escalating. They would if he stayed the night, he would wake up with scratches down his back, like big scratches. It would happen to his friend too. Big mysterious scratches and bruises on people in the house, just in general. And then he he said that they'd be in the room and shit would just fly off of bookshelves with no one touching them.
No, thank you.
And Daryl thought as a teenager that this is a really strong ghost. That's scary. And then one day they were sitting there, and his friend's family had a big ass cross on the wall. And he said whatever was in the room ripped it out of the wall, nail and all, and flung it across the room.
Oh my god.
And it just skittered across the floor. And he said they all were just looking at it, and they were like, "Do you want to go smoke pot or something instead of this?"
Oh my god.
And so he said it never stopped. Every single night, something happened. There was never a day and they never got anyone in there to cleanse the house.
Dude, I will
They
come
never
cleanse the house.
they never looked into the history of it. They never did any of that. I think they thought maybe if they ignored it, it would go away.
That's like the worst thing to do.
But it never went away, and in fact, it just got worse and worse. But yeah, the fact that whatever was in that house flung across off the wall is so fucking crazy. You
That gave me
only hear about
goosebumps.
that. Yeah, you only hear about that in horror movies, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big believer in the fact that regardless of what faith you are, religious symbolism works if you truly believe in it.
Yeah.
Kind of like how despite no longer being Catholic, I still believe in the power of Catholic exorcism. Just like I believe that other groups can do exorcism because as long as they actually believe it. I think you could cast a demon out of your house by saying "Be gone, thought." If you really thought that it would work, it would work.
Yeah.
Because it's intent, right?
Yeah.
I think intent matters more than verbiage or
Yeah.
verbiage. But yeah, they did tell it a couple times, can you leave? And it just never left. It didn't give a shit. It was mean. It would scream at people.
Ooh.
Scary shit.
Oh, I wonder what type of energy it is then.
I think that was demonic, personally.
Well, because obviously demonic can be different things.
Right.
So I wonder what exactly type it was.
I mean, like I said, Daryl could tell everything that happened in that house. In fact, I would like him. Maybe we have an episode with him and Dennis, the Daryl and the D&D special.
Oh,
where they just tell stories. I'll have him write it down.
that would be
all the
so
stuff.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
And just
we just let them host an episode.
could you imagine the whiplash? It starts off an intro of us being like, "Hi, I'm Sage. Hi, I'm Megan." And then it's "And I'm Dennis. And I'm Daryl." And then we're just no longer there.
It's what everyone wanted to have happen with Tunis Honest. And his friend.
So we were talking about like looking up the history of places. And as you guys know, I think I'm pretty sure I said in the very first episode in Laura Laugh Leprosy that what kind of initially started us being like, we need to restart was that I had a lot of spooky experiences here in the house. So I did a lot of research on the property, and there's not much details on the property itself, but there's speculations of what could have happened on this property. Um so we are very close to PA.
Hmm.
That actually like when during like the Underground Railroad and stuff like that, slaves would assume that when they reached this town and several towns near ours, that they had reached to PA, which was not the case. So there was things called slave catchers, and they would either capture you. If you fought back, they would kill you. And there's like there's been a lot of like this area is also very prominent during the Civil War. The town burned down at one point. Like this town has been through it and has engaged in some things that they're probably not proud of. And the other day I think I've told in previous, no, you guys won't know about this yet, but I got couches and everything. And so I was finally sleeping downstairs because sometimes sleeping on a couch is just perfection.
It's just, yeah.
And I'm sleeping down there, and Dennis is at work, so it's like the middle of the night. And I'm rolling over, and I look towards the TV, and there is a lady who's a little bit taller, probably taller than me. Definitely a thicker lady. I wouldn't say that she's like, I wouldn't say fat, like she wasn't like, but she
Portly.
looked like she was eating well. Let's put it that way. And very like, very similar to kind of what I'm wearing now, but not as colorful. Very like muted colors. And she's very dirty and very bloody. And I look at her and she looks back at me like she saw a ghost. Where I'm looking at her like, you're a ghost. And it's kind of just a stare off. And she looks at me and yells the word help. To which then I fall off the couch. Because like I was initially laying with like facing towards the back, and I felt like someone was watching me kind of was the feeling that I got. So I like halfway rolled over to like look to see what it was because I was like, for all I know, this is the cat who just came downstairs to join me and is like staring at me.
Right.
So, and if any of you have ever slept on a couch, you know that you have to be like very meticulous with the way you roll sometimes, or you will roll off the couch. But because I had rolled over and was like not fully rolled over to look, that like when she said that, I went to go roll the rest of the way over and just like face first off the couch. And when I stood back up, she was gone.
You know what? She's looking at you like, why aren't you helping me? I'm covered in blood.
And I'm over here on the ground. Like, she's probably like, you were no help to me whatsoever.
Getting the fuck out of here. These bitches ain't helpful.
But yeah, it was like the middle of the night. And I was like,
Was
okay.
she, what race did she appear to be?
She was definitely of darker skin tone. I can for sure say that she was like African American because she was standing in front of a TV with the light coming through her.
Right.
So it was like she definitely was someone of a darker skin tone, but I cannot confidently say she was African American.
That's a crazy encounter.
It was,
That's
and I was
that's
just like,
crazy.
and I have it written down somewhere that I was like, tell Megan about this. And clearly I have done so.
So I guess we will end up closing out with the story that I mentioned earlier. Um, and this happened to somebody that while they're no longer in my life, I do trust them as far as this story goes. I do 100% think that things happened the way they said they did. So this person lived in a house. It was them and his dad, his brothers, and it was their grandmother, their aunt, and I think like another aunt as well.
Kind of the
Because
whole
it was a really
family.
big, yeah, it was kind of like the whole family. uh, because it was a really big house. This house used to be a mortuary. And, you know, I always thought it'd be cool to live in a house that used to be a mortuary, but I'm going to guess whoever was mortuarying here maybe got into some hijinks, maybe did some incorrect things. Because I guess from the day that, like, he said the day they moved in, even, like, with their family, he didn't like the vibes. But this same house, while he's living there, his aunt starts to go crazy. Like, actually crazy. To where she's, like, babbling, she's talking to people that aren't there, and it comes out of nowhere.
Wow.
And the grandma, like, and the thing is, sometimes she's completely lucid, and sometimes it's just she's gone. And I think they did take her to a doctor who didn't know what was wrong with her. And so eventually she starts speaking in like weird voices that don't even sound like her.
Ooh.
And the grandmother is very religious. So the grandmother starts going, she's possessed. I think my daughter's possessed. And the guy in the story who's telling the story is really little at the time. I don't think he's any older than like 10.
Okay.
And so the aunt is doing that, and she just starts doing weird stuff. Like, she's saying stuff that sounds like she is indeed possessed, like the
Ooh.
things she's actually saying. She's doing weird shit at night, like standing weird in corners, just like in the darkness.
No, thank
There
you.
would be times where she would just stop. She would be babbling, and then she'd stop and she'd just stare for like a really long time,
No,
not
thank
saying
you.
anything. And so the grandmother is becoming increasingly convinced that that her daughter's possessed. And of course, his dad is like, she's not possessed. There's something wrong with her. His dad is a very, he's not super religious, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a harder guy. And this goes on and on and on. And they eventually have to like hide knives and stuff because the aunt is attempting to harm herself.
Yeah.
But like, she'll be lucid again and she'll have no idea what they're talking about. It's like legitimately, she will speak in this weird, deep voice, try to hurt herself, and then she'll be completely lucid again and have no idea what happened.
That is so crazy.
It gets worse, if you can believe it. Guess how? So the aunt eventually becomes not like that, but it comes at a massive price. Like, I can't believe this is a real story. If I'd heard it from anybody else, I don't think I would have believed it.
Yeah.
So one day somehow, she's in one of these states and she says a bunch of weird shit, and the grandma locks her in her room because she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know what to do with her anymore.
Yeah.
And doctors haven't told them what's wrong still. And this has been going on for like years at this point. Medication doesn't work.
That's scary.
And so they've got her locked up. And they think she's lucid again later. But she's like asleep in there or whatever. So they just like let her be. But the grandma locks the door back. She locks the door back. And he's not home when this happens. Thank goodness.
Okay.
But apparently, at some point, despite her door being locked, the aunt, there's just a massive blast through the house. She got the shotgun and blew her entire lower jaw off, basically. Like, she shot herself in the face.
Oh my God.
She lived, never did that shit again.
Oh my
She was
God.
it never happened again.
Oh my God.
The grandmother genuinely believed that a demon had gotten inside her daughter, tried to kill her, and failed and been expelled in the process. Because maybe the
Wow.
demon couldn't take the pain.
Maybe.
And so she was fine. Like, she wasn't fine after that, obviously. She had issues still, but like,
Yeah.
she stopped talking weird. She didn't do any of the weird shit she'd been doing before.
That's so crazy.
Like I said, that's a story that if anybody else fucking told me that, I would have said you're fucking lying.
Yeah.
But this wasn't a person that made shit up like that. In fact, he was very afraid of stuff like that.
Knowing who this person is personally, and like,
And the stuff that he had said about like that kind of stuff and being afraid of it.
yeah, and then like him disliking some of the research we were doing and stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
no, I can believe it coming from him.
Yeah.
Now, like,
Yeah.
had that person's brother,
Right.
I would not believe it.
No.
I would
No,
not have,
but
but him,
no.
yeah, I can believe it coming from him just with how bothered he was by things and how much he didn't want to ever hear about them or know about them. For him to tell a story like that, I believe it.
Like it was something he found genuine. I think that's part of the reason why he doesn't like stuff like that.
It probably is.
So
Well, that was a
that's
spooky
my
story.
We're definitely gonna have to put a trigger warning on this episode because of that last story. But
It'll probably just be like a very simple one, too. I mean,
yeah.
anyway, guys, see, this is what we mean. Like, if you guys send your stories in, we can sit here and we can tell your guys' stories like this.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal is to maybe
Yeah.
do one a month, like either as like the actual episode or as like a
Extra
bonus.
content.
But yeah, if you guys want to send your stories, you guys can have your stories read up here.
Yeah, and clearly we'll tell you anything that gets
Yeah.
sent in basically.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like wildly inappropriate, we will censor things that we think are just obscenely inappropriate.
Yeah. Like, there might be times where if your story has a section where it's like, maybe not the best place for me to be telling this information, we might just like edit your story slightly, but we don't want to lose the meaning of it. But if you're like telling us like about actively committing a crime that like doesn't have a statutes of limitations on it, we're probably going to cut that
Or
out.
something particularly traumatic happening in the story, we might, well,
We'll
we're
probably
not going to take it out, but
we'll put it in nicer terms so that maybe it's not as triggering to somebody else.
right. Not because we want to discount it in any way, but
Just because we want to make sure that everyone can enjoy it and not have to worry about having any things that happen to them be brought up.
yeah.
My teeth look
But
extra white with this lipstick on. I'm so sorry. I've been looking at it this entire time.
I feel like I look okay with yellow hair in this lighting, but in person, I just look absolutely egregious.
Well, your picture you sent me looked really good.
It's just the rest of my face with it is what's getting it. I don't look good in yellow. I did show my mom this costume because I had to drop my son off dressed like this. And she was like, no, actually, I mean, I know exactly who you are. I think it's cute. I was like, cool. My dad said nothing. He went, okay.
That is very much your dad. My husband has not seen me yet, so I don't know what he thinks of this outfit completely done with the makeup, but I'll find out soon.
Is he into Mary Sanderson?
We'll find out.
Let's say we're about to find out. Errol did see me in this. He had to do the back of my costume up. And I said, how do I look? And he went, you look like Naruto, I guess. I said, come on, give me a review. He goes, no.
Guys,
Because he's like, it's a good costume. He said, it's a good costume and you did a good job. But you are dressed as Naruto.
Our men put up with so much from us.
They really do. They deserve an award. Or
They
maybe
do.
their own episode, you know.
They do. We'll see. Well, guys, happy Halloween. I hope that you guys had an amazing Halloween if you're listening to this in the evening or past it. Or I hope that you, if you're a trick-or-treater or you have kids at trick-or-treat, I hope that your kids get all of your favorite candy so that you can
Go to
take
the
it
rich
from them.
neighborhoods. Go to the rich neighborhoods. They have full-size candy bars.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this economy, but they did when I was younger.
I feel like they don't do like house to house anymore. I feel
They
like
still do it here.
when I was living there, they didn't really do it. It's all about the trunk or treats now.
I mean, a lot of places have trunk or treat, but like, still on Halloween night, you can go through like the main part of town.
Yeah, well, because like
For sure.
well, with especially with the murder house over there. The murder house of the lady that got murdered over love letters. She was a school teacher. This was like the 40s, I think, the 20s or 40s, like in that time frame. Um, it was when the middle school was the high school instead, and she was a teacher there. I think she taught English, and I can't remember if she was talking to someone that was married or something along those lines. But she was murdered, and a couple blocks away there's an old carriage house. Like it's a huge stone house with a beautiful stone carriage house in the back. And she was found in that carriage house murdered.
Not the same house that Daryl showed me. I don't know. I'll look up the Sarah shit. I'll look it up.
Yeah, but
Because I know it's near, and for some reason I can't. You know what's weird? I was so excited to see that house because he's like, we'll walk by it. I can't picture it. Usually I can picture houses that I have seen. I can't picture this damn house that he showed me.
that's the one that I'm talking about. I think it's on M Street. I think.
I think as long as I look it up, I'll probably find it.
I don't know
But
if
yeah,
it'll bring up the actual house. It'll bring up the police or the newspaper. But yeah,
Okay.
so I hope you guys enjoyed.
Hopefully your Halloween is more fun than spooky, but unless you're going for spooks, let us know if you do anything fun like ghost hunting.
Yeah, and then if something happens and you want to tell us, send it to the
Please do.
email.
Yeah. All that stuff is down below.
And hopefully we will see you again next week.